Hello students, in this video we are going to go more detail about client server architecture. Let me share the screen. In the previous video we have understood general idea about various terminology like HTTP, www, what is domain name. To begin a website, what point you have to keep in mind. Let's go a little more in detail about it. To develop a static web pages, you should know HTML. Using HTML, you can develop only static pages because you can display some set of data. It can't be interactive. To make the web page interactive, you have to use either JavaScript or some server-side technology like Java, JSP, ASP, PHP, Django. Many options are available. The markup language used to represent web pages for viewing by the people. So HTTP full form is Hypertext Markup Language. Basically, browser parse the tag and display some set of information. The markup language used to represent web pages for viewing by people. So here we design to display data. It does not store the data. It simply display set of information. So that is what we say rendered and viewed in the web browser. So it can contain links to images, document, and other pages. So I can have many, like website has many web pages which are linked with each other. HTML is not extensible. It is derived from SGML, that is Standard Generalized Markup Language. Over a period of time, HTML passed through various versions. So currently the latest version of HTML is HTML5. So here, when I say web pages and other thing, or we make a request for some any pages, the very first thing we write is HTTP, that is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So it is a set of implemented set of protocol. Because of this, different computer can communicate with each other. So the top level protocol used to request and return data. Request in the sense, the client make a request. Who is the client? Browser is the client. And we request data or we ask for the data. And the job of the server is to locate the file, load into the memory, convert into the HTML and give reply to the client. So here, the top level protocol used to request and return data. Example, HTML pages, GIF, JPG, Microsoft Word document. So you can ask for any set of information. So here we say there's a request response protocol. And there are various methods we use. For example, when you type in the URL and ask for the data, it is called get method. And whatever the data goes or whatever the data you transfer to the server, it's visible in the URL when the method is get. When you fill up some form and submit the data, then generally method is the post, because I can submit set of information. I can upload a file. So that cannot be a get. So that has to be method post. There are various different methods available. When client make a request, it also sends some header information. So this header information includes by which method you have asked for the data, what page you have asked, the name of the page, version. It also indicates what type of data you can, your server can accept. So some header information, what language you are using. It also reveals the name of your browser, the version detail, connection. When you ask for this data, what is the timestamp? So that is we called as a request header information. Once it hit the server locate that file and return reply. When server give a reply, server also come up with some header information. If data is found, internally there is a status code that is 200 and a response phrase that is okay. So status code, like you must have seen 404, page not found, right? If something goes wrong, which server cannot make out, so it comes up as a status code 500 internet server error. Then there are different number or ranges available. Data modified, data updated, no content. Okay. So with every text information, there is some status code. So some of the status code are 200, 404, 500. It server also come up with the header information including date, time, which server version, in which format they are giving a reply. For example, here can you see content dash type text slash HTML. So this is indication of MIME type. So in which format server can give a reply in text slash HTML or JSON application slash JSON, or it can be application slash XML. So server can give a reply as an entire page or a small set of JSON data, or it can be XML. And then along with the header information, what are the data you have asked, that is also come up. So this is why what we are understanding is how client make a request, what header information goes, how server reply, and what header information we receive from the server. So that is what we call HTTP response and HTTP request. In Java and ASP, there is a predefined class HTTP request and response. Every web related module or a project, you have a HTTP request and response class. So when client make a request, it is a HTTP request class which process or send a request. And on the server side, we say HTTP response is a class whose job is to reply to the client in form of HTML, because browser can understand only HTML, CSS, JavaScript. They cannot understand C Sharp, Java, Python. So some of the status code are 200. 201 is created, means when you post some data, no, so you get 201, new record created. 301 moved permanently. 302 moved temporary. 400 bad request, means you are asking some uh, you are asking some data which is not there, or some trying to invoke some method which is not there, so it is a bad request. Sometimes you are not authorized to see this data. For example, you cannot open your Gmail without you login. Like say for example, I have login and I'm seeing my Redifka inbox, I'm reading my mail. What I did is I copy paste the URL, I log out, I close the browser. After one day, I directly put the copy pasted URL. Will I able to see my inbox? No, because it will check whether this user is logged in or not. Then only they can see the data. Suppose a certain time it does happen that various company website, there I have certain category. Admin person can see some certain set of data, and employee can see certain set of data. So if you try to see, move to the URL, and if you do not have an authority to see, you will get unauthorized, that is 401. Sometime 403 forbidden, 404, which you already know, that is not found. And 500 is internal server error. What is HTTPS? HTTPS represent a secure site. Nowadays, majority websites are secure. So basically, what are the data you transfer? It get encrypted and given. It is on the network layer, no, it get encrypted and decrypted. So it is we consider as a safe way of communication over network. So HTTPS, a secure version of HTTP, allows client and server to exchange data with confidence that the data was neither modified nor intercepted. So it is nowadays majority website are HTTPS. To make a request, we use something known as URL, that is Uniform Resources Identifier or Uniform Resources Locator. So in the URL you type no, yahoo.com or amazon.com, where you in the URL you put a path and then you make a request. So that is similar terminology, say URI or URL or URN, either or you can use it. Now, when you ask for the data, in the previous slide, we have seen that it is written text slash HTML. That time I said it is a MIME type. What type of data you are asking? Like server say I can reply text slash HTML, text application slash JSON, application slash XML. So server can reply in a different format. So that format we is also indicated in the header area. So that is what we call MIME type. The full form of MIME is multi-purpose internet mail extension. Now to deal with or to begin with the developing static web pages. So here what we have, browser. We consider browser as a client, and HTML is a client-side application because it interpreted in the browser. So internet technologies browser, what we have browser, that client-side application request HTML pages to the server. Means basically we make a request, it hit the server locate that data, load into the memory, convert into HTML and render the page. Okay. Some browser are Netscape, Internet Explorer, Opera, Google Chrome. So these are the various browser we need to know, or these are the browser which read the data, or we can say through which we can read the data. So browser is like a client. And why HTML CSS just it's called client side technology? Because browser interpret this set of information, give a reply. So HTML consists of a lot of predefined tag which is already fed into the browser. So here when you make a request, it is always HTTP, that is Hypertext Transmission Protocol. Then it goes over the layer of TCP, that is Transmission Control Protocol. It locates for the unique IP address, Internet Protocol. Then you have Ethernet. So client make a request, is passed through this many stages. It goes to the server, then it step by step get converted into the respective format. And then finally it will locate that file, load into the memory. So that page can be JSP, ASP, PHP, get converted to HTML and give it, come back to the client. So this is Internet Technology Network Protocol stack. Now, before we begin with the developing a website, we should know certain terminology. That is what? What is a website? Collection of web pages. What is web pages? Collection of information. Okay. So web information stored in a document called web pages, or it is a collection of information. And to develop a website, we have already discussed there is a W3C, World Wide Web Consortium. It is an organization, or W3ORG, which has maintained a certain set of rule or a standard. And when I develop any web page, I should follow that standard. So W3C is rule making body of the web. W3C, that is World Wide Web Consortium. W3C puts together specification for web standard. And some of the web standard are HTML, XHTML, CSS, XML. In your curriculum, you have HTML and CSS. Now with this, we are winding up over here. In the next video, we'll begin with how to develop a static web pages using HTML.